up, swashbucklers? You're listening to Under the Crossbones, episode number 42. My name is Phil Johnson. I'm your host for the show. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. You can get all the show notes for this episode at underthecrossbones.com/042. Number 42, fun fact about 42, it is the answer to life, the universe, and everything. And if you don't know what that's from, you should go read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and you should have read it as a teenager, because that's when it is most appropriate and humorous. So first of all, thanks for tuning in. Second of all, I want to apologize for not having an episode out last week. When I would have been preparing this episode last Monday, my girlfriend and I and her family were sitting in the intensive care unit. And at that point, we didn't know quite where everything was going, and so I didn't have a lot of information. But on Tuesday, we found out where it was going, and unfortunately, she didn't make it. She passed away. So it's been a very difficult week around here. And I had at that point, she went into the ICU on Friday, or Saturday, I guess. I took her in Friday. They put her in the ICU on Saturday, and we had been there at the hospital the whole time. We came home for about 2 hours on Monday to take a shower and get a little bit of sleep, and then we went right back. And so I could have managed to squeeze out an episode for you that would have been a little bit half-ass, because I only had 2 hours at all to do anything, and I was so exhausted you couldn't even imagine. So I didn't want to do that to you. I wanted to give you a quality episode, and so I thought it would be the best thing to just skip that week, come back to it this week, firing on all cylinders. And I was thinking about how to approach this on this show, and none of my favorite podcasters that I look to for example have ever dealt with this on their show. So it was a little bit strange, and I didn't quite know how to do it, but I wanted to, be upfront with you and why there was no episode last week. And thank you for all the comments and the notes and emails and things that you sent. That's very touching and very nice of you, and I appreciate that a lot, as does my girlfriend. And so we're still dealing with all this stuff. We're still in the middle of funeral arrangements, and we've had the ceremony, and we're still waiting for the internment and all that kind of stuff. So it's still a difficult time around here. But I wanted to make sure to get out an episode for you this week, and I think we've got a really fun one that you're going to enjoy. So I appreciate your patience, and I appreciate all your nice comments and all that kind of stuff. And she'll be missed, because I knew her for 24 years, and she was as part of my family as anybody else is, So it was a little sudden, unexpected, but also sort of expected. She'd been ill and things like that, but I don't think any of us thought it was going to happen quite that quickly, But that's life and the universe and everything, right? Number 42. That's the answer to it all. So this week on the show, my guest is Mr. Teach, who is the head of the Phoenix Risen Pirate Clan. And here's the thing. I had no idea what a pirate clan is, or why they exist, or what they do, or how they operate, and all that kind of stuff. So this was a fact-finding mission for myself to find out what a pirate clan is and what it does. And you may know, and I didn't. And if you don't know, you're going to learn some stuff too. So it's basically an offshoot of the Renaissance Fair clans, the camping groups, and things like that. So we'll have a fun talk with Mr. Teach all about that. He's very involved in the Sherwood Forest Faire, and also is the director of their summer camps there. So we'll talk all about that stuff. Really a fun talk that I think you'll enjoy. If you're new to the show, weird episode to come in on, I understand. But if you're new to the show, make sure that you hook up with us online. You can find us at underthecrossbones.com is the main website with all the shows, all the show notes, all that kind of fun stuff. You can find us on Facebook at Under the Crossbones, Twitter /Under Crossbones, because there wasn't enough characters for the. And as always, you can find the show notes at underthecrossbones.com/042 for this episode. And the other thing that I'd kind of left hanging at the end of the other episode was my girlfriend and I, before all this was happening, took a vacation to Universal Studios in Los Angeles, and specifically to check out the new Harry Potter world of Harry Potter. I don't know. Everybody calls it Harry Potter Land because nobody knows what to call it. I think it's the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Anyway, if you haven't been to either the one in Florida, which I haven't, or the one in California, which is new, very cool. Definitely go see it. Butterbeer is worth $6 a cup. It was very good, and it's like sort of a butterscotch vanilla-y I don't know. It's good. Spend $6 and get a butterbeer because they're tasty. And I believe there actually is butter in it. I mean. And we rode the big ride in the castle, the Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, which is simultaneously the best, most fantastic theme park ride ever invented and the most nauseating. So if you have motion sickness trouble, take your Dramamine before this one. I took my Dramamine and I still barely made it. But it is a combination of dark ride, sort of a Disney-style dark ride, plus the motion simulator stuff. And the motion simulator stuff is amazing. There is no doubt in your brain that you are flying on a broom over Hogwarts and on the Quidditch pitch and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really, really amazing line. Double up ride. Double up on your Dramamine if you have to, and go on it. The other ride in that area is the Flight of the Hippogriff coaster. It's short. Fortunately, so is the line. It's a family roller coaster. It's nothing big. It's one that you take the kids on. My girlfriend, who does not like roller coasters, was just starting to get into it, and she's screaming, having a good time, and then it was over. And it stops pretty quickly. It's only about a 30-second ride, 45 seconds maybe, something like that. It's pretty quick. The rest of the land is fantastic. All the stores are great. Make time to go into the Ollivander's wand shop because they do a whole little show and a presentation, things like that. It's not just going into the wand shop. You'll see that there's a wait for it, but I think we waited 20 minutes or something like that. We went towards the end of the day. Definitely worth going in and experiencing that because it's not just another store. You're not just waiting in line to get into a store. Overall, they did a great job with all that kind of stuff. Here's one small tip. If you're going to go on, there's 3 motion simulator rides now at Universal. There's the Minion Mayhem, there's the Transformers ride, and there's the Harry Potter ride. Do them in that order. Go see Minions, Transformers, and then Harry Potter because that is the obvious progression that they were invented in. We did them backwards, and we were far less impressed with the Minions by the time we got there, simply because it was obviously the first iteration of that type of ride that they'd done. So anyway, lots of good stuff. Meanwhile, I'm getting back on the road this week. I hope you didn't go out to San Diego to the Comedy Palace to catch me last weekend because I did cancel those shows to stay close to home. But other shows coming up, lots of shows coming up. June 2 through 4, that's this coming weekend. I'll be at Looney's Comedy Club in Colorado Springs, Colorado. June 8th, I'll be at the Ice House in Pasadena, California. June 10 to 12, I will be at the Edgewater Casino in Laughlin, Nevada. June 13, Honda Casino in Pine Top, Arizona. June 15th, back at the Ice House in Pasadena for a taping of Comedy Time. That's going to be fun. You can see me do 8 minutes of clean, family-friendly comedy where I don't insult anybody or say dirty words. We'll see if I can do. June 17th, I'll be at the Throckmorton Theater in Mill Valley, California. That is for the Last Late Show. This is a great premise for a show. The premise is the world is ending tomorrow, and this is the last late night talk show. It's a great premise. We've done it a few times before. I'm going to be the special musical guest. I have written a special song for the show. So if you're in the Mill Valley area, come out to the Throckmorton on June 17th. June 18th, I'll be headlining a show at Sauced in Petaluma, California. June 25th, I'm headlining the Windmill Winery in Tracy, California. June 26th, I'll be at the Crow's Nest in Santa Cruz, California. And June 30th at the Washington Inn in Oakland, California. If you need any of those tour dates, go to underthecrossbones.com and click on the tour dates button. You can get all the details and information right there. And you can come out and see a show and see what I do when I'm not talking about pirates. I might talk about pirates. If you're there, tell me you're there. If you go, hey, Under the Crossbones, and I might make a pirate joke for you. Anyway. If you're liking the show and you want to help support it, that would be awesome. Go to underthecrossbones.com/support. Right there, you can find a little PayPal donation box where you just dump in whatever you want, $100, $10, $2, whatever you want to donate to the show. Just dump it in there. That is your choice, whatever the show is worth to you. Real easy peasy. There's an Amazon banner. If you click on that Amazon banner, buy yourself something nice. I get a little kickback to help support the show, and that's always helpful. Doesn't cost you anything in that case. You're just buying stuff that you already needed anyway, or more likely, stuff you didn't really need, but you wanted, right? That's why most of us go to Amazon. I just bought a bunch of crap on Amazon the other day. If you want to sponsor the show, it's very easy. It's very cheap. Go to that same page, underthecrossbones.com/support, and you can find out information on how to be a sponsor of the show. All right, let's get into it. We're going to hear our interview now with Mr. Teach, who's head of the Phoenix Risen Pirate Clan. Enjoy. This is a part of pirate culture that I have not experienced or delved into at all. So tell me about what Phoenix Risen actually is. What's a pirate clan? How does that work?
Well, it began as a clan. Texas Renaissance Festival is where it started.
Okay.
They have a lot of camping there, and so we have at the Texas Renaissance Festival they have several different camping groups, They're all called clans. We've been around for a pretty good while now ourselves, about 7 years.
Okay.
There's some that have been out there for 20, 25. I think the oldest one's probably close to 30 years.
Oh, wow.
So they've been, but it began with a group of like-minded people wanting to camp together.
Okay. And so basically just there to be sort of camping moral support.
More or less. We grew into what we call we like to call it a family.
Okay.
Because for a lot of us, the people that are within the clans often mean more to us than our own families do. That they are who we connect with.
Okay. And how did you get started with it?
I guess the usual way. I started off with camping in the campground, and basically I saw these groups of people that were just having a blast after hours, after the festival. And I was like, I want to be part of that. So I just kind of started introducing myself to people. The first year I really got into it was actually after my divorce, and I was looking for support.
Okay.
And I really found it there. A lot of people were like, they didn't know me from anybody else on the street, but they knew my situation, and they were there to just kind of pat on the back and hug when I needed it. And I started going to the Sea Devil Tavern inside the festival, and there's a stage act there called Iris and Rose, and that was the first place that I started really just laughing. They're some of the funniest ladies out on the circuit, I think. And it really kind of turned my life around. About a year later, I met the lady who would become my upgraded wife.
Okay.
We met at the Renaissance Festival, and then a year and a day later, we married at the Renaissance Festival.
Oh, great. That's fantastic.
When we married there were two clans that were very supportive of us. We joined. One was Chaos, one was Drunken Gnomes, and they basically put on our wedding in the campground and our reception that evening.
Oh, neat. That sounds very cool. So tell me a little bit about how pirates fit into the Renaissance Fair scene, because obviously from a historical time period point of view, they don't. But how did that start to become part of the Renaissance Festival scene?
That really started, you can probably thank Johnny Depp for that.
Okay.
That was when the Pirates of the Caribbean movies came out, the Renaissance Festivals went from being straight up, historical accuracy, the SEA, you didn't have the right kind of lacing on that, kind of deal, to people going, well, I'm going to dress as a pirate for you. And so it's really taken over. Every festival we go to, they have, at the Texas Renaissance Festival, they have the Sea Devil Tavern. At Sherwood Forest Faire, they have a pirate themed pub. They have one at Scarborough Fair, and they have really kind of bowed to the masses.
Okay.
Yes, historical accuracy is fun, but we want to do this character. So we just kind of took over, and nobody really tries to explain why there's pirates 600 years before there were pirates. We just kind of do it.
I like it. Why not? That's the way to go, man.
What pirates do. We do what we want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I have run across a couple of Renaissance Fair owners, runners, whatever. I'm not sure what they're called, but people who run the Renaissance Fairs who have said they're trying to keep the pirates out, which I guess is what most people would want to do in history. But have you seen at some of the festivals you go to? Have you seen any blowback from pirates being there?
No, I'm actually very good friends with the ones at Sherwood Forest Faire, and actually both the owners, George and Eric, or two of the three, excuse me, are very much into historical accuracy. Eric has I believe, a master's degree in medieval studies, and so they're very much into it. But at the same time, they recognize that that's what their customer base wants to do. And so they're going to embrace them too.
That's great. That's good. Yeah, because it's just been a couple that I've run across where they're like, no, we're trying to keep the pirates away. And it's like, why? They're paying admission too.
We go to other events too. We go to Dickens on the Strand in Galveston, which is really more of a steampunk Victorian but
Okay.
they're still pirates. We're still going to be there.
Right.
At least there we tend to bend to it and we go with the theme for the pirate. At least we're closer to fitting the theme.
Yeah.
But,
That makes me think of that there are no festivals that encompass that particular time period of 1680 to 1720. Apparently pirates were the only interesting people there, unless I guess you were going for sort of a colonial America festival or something that might happen, but those don't happen nearly as much.
no, there's a few pirate festivals in Texas, but they are very small.
Mm-hmm.
And I live in San Antonio, which is a pretty good ways from the coastline, and that's where they all are.
Sure. Yeah. Plenty of pirate festivals, but I was thinking outside of pirates, they don't seem to fest anybody else in that time period, which I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So, were you coming into the clans and such? Were you a piratey guy, or were you a Ren Faire guy, or did you just kind of stumble upon it and go, "Hey, these are cool people"?
All three.
Okay.
With the Ren Faire guy, that was my first garb that I bought was just the standard cheapy pants and black shirts and things like that, and just trying to kind of blend into the crowd. And you learn really quick at a festival that if there's kind of two levels inside the gate as far as the patrons go, and that's the mundanes who are just there for the day, and they're walking around in normal clothes,
right?
And they're the ones and then there are people like me and my wife and my clan that we all we dress up and we're almost as much a part of the show as the paid actors that are there.
Sure, yeah.
Well, Iris and Rose is a great example. With them, they end their show, their last show of the day is ended with Roll Your Leg Over, and which is a fantastic song. But if there's a small crowd, they're looking for people that they know to help. This is a audience interactive thing. So I've been kind of their audience plant because they know that I'm going to have a bunch of verses because I've been to their show so many times.
Right.
And I also know how their act goes, and whenever they're getting ready to end it, and they're trying to stop people, I'll try to calm myself down and step back and say, okay, show's ending, quit volunteering versus they're tired. This 30-minute show has been going on for an hour, and we'd like to stop now.
I know that feeling very well. I've been there many, many times. That's really cool. So as far as the clan goes, is there a hierarchical structure to it of some sort?
With mine there is. I am the clan boss.
Okay.
Which is my title for the clan. And my wife is actually my boss, so it's kind of, she has an unofficial title.
Yeah. I know that feeling well too.
And beneath me, there's my number two, McIntyre, Lizzo, Houston. And then for each festival area, we have somebody in charge of that zone. Basically, like for Scarborough, they're in charge of making sure our hotel rooms are booked because they don't have camping there.
Okay.
At Texas Renaissance Festival, their job is to get out there before everybody and kind of establish a place to camp. And at Sherwood, it's just organizing because Sherwood, they allow you to set up your camp and leave it up for the whole season. And so we go out and we have this area that we've cleaned out their opening year, and we've had it, to ourselves ever since then. We've still got to go maintain it and take care of it. So it's a lot of behind the scenes work for those. Okay,
interesting. And so the Sherwood Fair, that's your sort of home fair then?
It is. I'm actually the talking about the owners. One of them called me kind of out of the blue about 3 years ago and offered me a position. They have a summer camp.
Oh, okay.
They're the only Renaissance festival I know that does this. They have a summer camp that runs in July, and I'm the camp director for it.
Oh, neat. And is that a summer camp for kids, or what is that?
It's both, actually. There's a adult weekend or grown-up weekend that we have that will be the weekend of June 24th, 25th, 26th. Basically, it's just like the youth camp with all the classes during the day, and then the bar is open at night.
Yeah, you don't want to do that for the kids' summer camp. They frown on that.
Yeah, it turns out we can't do that at night for the kids. And then the weekend after July 4th, we start the youth camp.
Okay.
And that runs for 3 weeks.
Oh, okay. When does the fair start?
Sherwood runs, well, up until this year, it ran February, March. Because of weather, they decided this year they're going to change it. So coming beginning next year, it's going to start the first weekend of March.
Okay.
And run for 7 weeks.
7 weeks. Okay, so when you're setting up your campsite there, you're there for like 7 weeks then.
Yeah, we said, well, our campsite is there. I'm close enough that we can come home during the week.
Sure, yeah, because jobs and all, yeah.
But well, there's some people that do stay out there the whole time. A lot of participants that are out there. The Ren community is an amazing thing, and there's I don't know, it's a 60s hippie love vibe thing.
Sure.
That's in the campground there. That's just pretty amazing.
That's great. That's really great. And so by day you're a teacher, right?
Right.
Hence the name. And
yeah, that's actually not where I got my nickname.
Oh, is it? Okay. Tell me where you got the name. That's interesting.
I started dressing up as a pirate at some point or another. I've been reading about pirates for 20 years. It's always been a fascinating study for me. And somebody asked me, what my pirate name would be, and I was Captain Teach, because he's the most famous pirate ever.
Okay.
And they just looked at me like, I have no idea who that is. And that's kind of, how do you not know who Captain Teach is? And they were looking at me, okay, maybe you know Blackbeard, and it might come in handy. I don't know.
Right.
So that's where it came from. And then I honestly did not make my own connection. Time was like, hey, I'm also a teacher, so that works.
Oh, that's perfect. That works out great. And so, do your students know that you are a pirate in off hours?
They do. They've found quite a lot of comedy over the years in that.
Yeah, sure.
We had it was about 3 years ago. They had dress as your hobby for the teachers. So I put on my full pirate gear, the coat, and everything. Didn't bring the sword. I thought that might be a bit much. And went to school, and I had a great time. All the kids took pictures with me and everything. Several of them tried on the coat, to see what it was like. And then they never asked me to do hobby day again.
Really? That's
apparently
funny.
Going, yar all day long. They didn't like that too much.
That's hilarious. I think something like that is really interesting to see that your teacher is an actual human being. Because I mean, as kids, we always thought it was like when you saw your teacher like out away from school, you'd be like, "Whoa, what are you doing out of your cage?" So that sounds like a really neat idea to have to show the kids that the teachers are actual people. What age do you teach?
It's anywhere from 14 to 18. Well, 14 to 20, I guess. But,
oh, okay, so high school stuff.
But it's high school. I mostly teach physics, but I also have taught chemistry and biology and integrated physics and chemistry. And
nice.
Quite literally, I've been teaching now for 19 years, and so I have quite literally taught every science course, starting at 7th grade all the way up, with the exception of astronomy. I don't know why I never had to do that one.
That's great. I have to say those were my classes. I originally was a physics major in college, and then when I failed Calculus 3 again, I decided to get a degree in music instead. But I have high respect for science teachers, so that's fantastic.
Well, I pulled a lot of stuff in too with science, like with physics and IPC. We do when we were doing simple machines. Of course, first thing that comes to my mind is I'm going to build a catapult or a trebuchet. And so we have a lot of fun doing that kind of stuff, and I try to power it up where I can.
That's great.
There's quite a lot of fun to have when you play the pirate at school. I do a Talk Like a Pirate Day. I refuse to answer any questions all day unless they form it in pirate speak.
Fantastic. That's great. And so, yeah, I like that. That's great. I just had the two guys that invented Talk Like a Pirate Day on the show recently. They're really nice dudes. It was a fun interview. So, so you are what's your function as the head of the summer camp? What are you doing there?
Well, I'm the summer camp director, so I run the whole show. Everything from budgets to personnel to setting up all the classes. This year we have 16 different teachers teaching 12 different classes.
Oh, okay.
And every week has a different theme. Because it's Renaissance stuff, we tend to stick to that theme, though. For it, we have the first week is Bard's Week, and then the second week is Path of the Night, and the third week is Path of the Forester.
Oh, okay.
I try to shift things towards those classes, towards those themes for them. That would be my son sounder going off in the background.
Okay, I was like, wow, what is that? Interesting. So where can everybody find out more information about the fair you're involved with and the summer camp and all that kind of stuff?
The best place for the one that I'm involved with is if you go to sherwoodforestfair.com.
Okay.
You can go there. It's got links to all the fair, and it's got links to the summer camp.
Great. Excellent. We'll get that linked up in the show notes. And as far as Phoenix Risen, if somebody sees you at the Sherwood Forest Faire, can they just stroll up and say hey? And how does one join a clan?
Every clan is a little bit different. For us, you basically you just stroll up and say hey, you can talk to us. You make friends with us. I met someone a couple weeks ago at Scarborough that he was interested in the clans, and I talked to him.
Uh-huh.
And basically, the way we work ours is we introduce you. We have during every festival, we have one day that we do inductions. New members come in, and at that time, we introduce a person who wants to be a member. And a year later, if they're still around and they're still interested, we induct them as a new Phoenix.
Oh, okay, that's fantastic. That's really great.
So everybody has a different way, though. There's so many different. Every clan has its own system.
Right. Okay. So it's like if you want to be a Mason, ask a Mason, right? It's
pretty much, yeah.
Interesting. Well, that's cool, man. Teach, I'm glad we got to have a chance to talk here. This is really great. I'll point everybody to sherwoodforestfair.com so they can see all the stuff that you're involved with, and I will encourage them to stroll up and say hi if they see you guys.
I appreciate it. It'd be great.
All right, man. Thanks for being on the show. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There it is, friends. That is my interview with Mr. Teach, head of the Phoenix Risen Pirate Clan. That was fun. I had no idea what pirate clans were all about, and now I do. So if you are in that Ren Faire crowd, go find yourself a clan because it sounds like a nice thing to have. You can find out more about Mr. Teach and Phoenix Risen at forums.wearephoenixrisen.com. Let me say that again because that was weird coming out my mouth. I'm going to try it again. Third time. Forums.wearephoenixrisen.com. There you go. If you don't know how to spell Phoenix, Google it. You can also catch up with them at the SherwoodForestFaire.com. And, of course, that is fair, spelled the Renaissance Fair way, F-A-I-R-E with the E on it. So Sherwood Forest Faire and all the information about the summer camps, both adults and kids, all that is there, too. All right, we got some comedy and music on the show today. Comedy from Melissa Rochelle, good friend of mine from Chicago. Very funny. She's going to tell you about her personal life, and it's a crack-up. This is a good bit. And then we're going to have a song called White Car by Doug and the Carnival of Souls Review, which is a band from here in San Jose, California, that I'm digging on, so we're going to hear that too. All right, here we go. Comedy from Melissa Rochelle and music from Doug and the Carnival of Souls Review.
And there's a word I don't like. It starts with a V. It's not vegan, and it's not venereal disease. It is, in fact, virgin, because when you're a 24-year-old virgin, guys will treat you like a vegan with a venereal disease. It's rough. You're like an intern. You're like, well, I have no experience, but I need experience. I'll work on my resume. Okay. I feel like my virginity is like a Cubs game. Everyone's rooting for me. We all know the outcome. Maybe next year. Maybe next year. And my dad says I need to stop telling people I'm a virgin, especially large groups of strangers. Because he's like afraid I'm going to get taken, like in that movie. I get it, but I'm like, Dad, today's man, pretty lazy. They won't plan dates. They're not going to plan a whole kidnapping of Europe. And if they do, free trip to Europe! Come kidnap me, you know? Small, you can put me in a suitcase. Oh man. So now I just tell guys I'm waiting till 41 so I can beat Steve Carell at something. Goes over a little better. But guys will come up to me after shows and be like, so you were kidding about that virgin thing, right? No? Oh, well that's cool. You're waiting till marriage? I'm not. Take me on some dates and learn my name, you know? Like, bar's pretty low. You can step over it.
Not too far away, losing all focus. I'm watching what I say, yeah. There's something in my eye. It's a car big and bright. Don't let it get too far. White car, white car, white car, white car. Just like a ghost, she moves fast. She's got no name, she's got time. Just a car big and bright. Don't let it get too far. White car, white car, white car, white car. Just like a ghost, she moves fast. She's got no name, she's got time. Just a car big and bright. Don't let it get too far. White car, white car, white car, white car.
And that's our show for today, friends. Thank you for listening in. Again, you can get all the show notes at underthecrossbones.com/042. If you want to find out more about Mr. Teach and the Sherwood Forest Faire and Phoenix Risen and all that kind of good stuff, go to forums.wearephoenixrisen.com or sherwoodforestfair.com. And remember to spell fair the Renaissance Fair way. You can hear more from Melissa Rochelle and find out where she's going to be performing at melissarochelle.com. That's Melissa, spelled the regular way. Her last name is Richelle. And melissarochelle.com. And Doug and the Carnival of Souls review can be found at reverbnation.com/Doug and the Carnival of Souls review. I always love a long band name. I'm notorious for those too. So that's great. All the links will be available on the show notes underthecrossbones.com/042. Next week on the show, I have Peterson, who is an economist and the author of a book called The Invisible Hook, and it is the book that was gave me the main idea for starting this show. So it's going to be a great interview. I've been trying to get him on for a long time, and it's a fascinating talk about the economics of Golden Age piracy. You're going to dig it. If you haven't left an iTunes review yet, go do that. Go give us a 5-star iTunes review. Very, very helpful for keeping us up in the charts and bringing new people into the crew here on Under the Crossbones. All right, that's it, friends. I will see you next week. Thanks.